Hello all, I'm Aniket Mukul Maheshwari, and today I want to share my contributions to the environment and society. Firstly, I'd like to talk about plastic. Now, plastic, do you know that it's a very unsustainable material? Because most plastics, like shopping bags, are single use and have to be discarded after one time because they're quite thin and can rip easily. And do you know what happens when we throw the plastic bags away? Well, they get transported to a landfill and they get dumped there. And most plastics, on average, take about 450 years to decompose, which is a very long time. And in the process of decomposition, many harmful gases are released. But sometimes wasted plastic is just thrown into oceans, and this causes many marine animals to die because they think that plastic is food, but actually it contains many toxic chemicals. So, and it can sometimes many animals have become extinct or endangered because of plastic in oceans. And whenever I go shopping, I always take canvas bags because they can be used multiple times, and they're when we're done using it's easy to decompose, and it's not unsustainable for the environment. And I don't use plastic bags when I go shopping. Secondly, I would like to talk about electricity. Now, many people when they leave their rooms, they leave the lights on or the aircon on. But do you know where electricity comes from? It comes from the burning of fossil fuels. Now, what are fossil fuels? They're basically just like fuels which they're non-renewable, which means they can only be used once. They can and it's very hard to regenerate, and they're limited supply on Earth. And electricity comes from when factories burn fossil fuels. Electricity is generated, but because fossil fuels is so scarce and so important, this can actually be quite a waste. So when I leave the room, I always make sure to turn off the lights. And these days, I don't even use aircon anymore because it releases a very harmful gases for the environment. So I use fan. Thirdly, I'd like to talk about palm oil. Now, do you know what palm oil is? It's basically oil that comes from palm fruit. But palm oil comes from the palm fruit comes from trees, which have to be grown in rainforests. But multinational corporations are cutting down trees in rainforests, and which kills like habitats of many animals, which destroys the habitat. And a very common example is in the Borneo rainforest. 25 orangutans are dying every day because their habitat is lost, because the trees are being cut down to grow palm trees. And do you know that palm oil is in many common daily products, such as bars of soap, chocolate, cookies, and many more. So when I go to the supermarket, I always check at the back to see if it contains palm oil. And remember, customer is king. If you can always ask the retailer if it contains palm oil. And I stopped cutting down on using palm oil, as it's very unsustainable. I don't use bars of soap anymore and use the liquid soaps, and I don't eat that much chocolate. Lastly, I would like to talk about wasted food. Now, this is quite an important topic to cover because many people in the world are just wasting food because they don't want to eat it, where they could just give it to food banks, where it could be donated to people who need food, as it is a scarce resource. But also, A recent study has shown that in the USA, on average, a year, 40 million tons of food has been wasted, which is about $218 billion. And this can be given to the people who need it. So it's quite a waste. And also, food is also dumped in a landfill, and in the decomposition, it can release harmful gases such as carbon dioxide, which causes the temperatures on the planet to rise. And this causes many animals that live on ice caps to become endangered or extinct, such as the polar bear. Their habitat is in ice caps, and because the ice is melting because of the temperatures rising super steadily, the temperatures are rising very quickly, so it's causing polar bears to lose their habitats, and they're becoming endangered. So those are the points I'd like to talk about today. Those are I contributed, and I don't waste food. So these are how I contributed to the environment. Hopefully this message reaches out to all the people to spread awareness on sustainability. And thank you for watching.